Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to iallegedly. I've got a good one for you today because nothing you do in your life, in your business, moving forward will ever be the same. It's all going to be different from today forward. Please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, check your email because the winners list just went out, and you want to check your spam filter and see if you're on it. Okay? Great email. Anyways, let's get right into it. Business and survival financially has become tougher and tougher and tougher with each passing week. There is a true cost of living crisis right now. And one thing that I have been doing since the first of the year is I'm like, how can I cut back? What can I trim costs on with business and with expenses and with, advertising and with what I'm doing in the company as far as technology, everything. And as I start to talk to friends, colleagues, and people I work with, they're doing the same thing. Now, I have people that do millions of dollars worth of business. And instead of trying to kid themselves and say, just, what, I'm smarter than you, Dan. I'm smarter than everybody else. I'm going to figure this out. No. What are they doing? They're cutting back. How can I trim costs right now? What people are seeing right now is people are placing orders for less money on everything. They're spending less. They're spending less at restaurants. I was going to take a friend out for a pre-Valentine's Day dinner, and I was furious at this restaurant because they're like, "Yeah, we're just full." I said, "On a Wednesday? What do you mean you're full on a Wednesday?" "Okay, sir, we only have half the staff during the week." Finally, they let me know, and I'm like, half the tables aren't going to be full that night, so what we have are full and taken. Sorry. Think about that. A restaurant that's trying to run with half its tables full. Good luck. Good luck. Now, people are struggling right now. People are struggling to pay the rent. People are struggling leaving the electric bill on the table, and people are feeling the sting of the last grocery bill that they bought. Now, here is the thing. Wasn't Donald Trump going to bring all this down? Guys, the prices went from here to here over the course of the last 5 years. They went to the moon and beyond. And the problem with that is that now that things are starting to come down a little bit, people can't afford meat. People can't afford, you go to a restaurant, I hate the term, "Hey, what's your protein? Do you guys have chicken? Do you have any chicken?" Okay. I don't call chicken protein, but that's just my thing. Anyways, I can't stand those places that do that. And a lot of them are suffering right now because of the coolness and the quirkiness of trying to have a mush bowl is not working. This is going to be the greatest tax refund season that we've had in a decade and a half. The only problem with it is tax refunds are now going to be survival money. 73%, 73% say that have been quizzed about this say that they desperately need their tax refund for survival. 73%. 14% of the people have said that they're going to do something fun with the tax refund. Guys, this is bonus money. This isn't your paycheck. The problem with it is people get their paychecks right now, and they sit there, and it's a negotiation with their spouse, girlfriend, husband, whoever, and sitting there saying, "Gosh, what are we going to spend this money on?" It's a terrible way to live. Not that, not everybody's loaded, and I get it, but the idea with it is just, it is nonstop. For those of you that are in business, and a lot of people have written me lately that are one-man bands and one-woman shows, and I want you to think about something. I know so many people that get up in the morning and they are exhausted. They work all day, beat their brains out to earn a living, go home exhausted, barely pass out, barely make any money, get up to do it all over again. You are doing your life wrong right now. That is not the right way to live. Sleep is just as important as anything else. It's just as important as making the money because it's the fuel that you need for your health. As an older man, the older I get, and how I'm trying to get myself in shape and do better things and eat better, it is important that I work smart right now. You have to do this right now. You have to have better clients that are going to pay you more money. Well, I'll just lower the price, Dan, to get the business right now. You're not serving yourself. You're just trading dollars and trading time. But these tax refunds, that was, it was disturbing to hear this. You've got 38% of all Americans that are cutting their costs right now because they can't afford the general necessities of life, and they're skipping on things. And this is all new stuff. This is February numbers. We haven't seen anything yet. People have to move. What's the number one reason that they have to move right now? Oh, I got a new job, Dan. I'm going to make $30,000 more this year. No, I have to move because I can't afford where I'm living right now. That's the majority of people that are moving right now. And also, this huge percentage of Gen Zers, 64% of Gen Z, and I hate labeling people that. How about young people? Young people that right now say that they've given up on living in the dream location. You know what? There may be a little crime in this area, but it's okay. Sure it is, until something happens. Remember that. Remember that. Now, a few things that are absolutely mind-boggling right now that I want you to think about is we're seeing all these different wild numbers go up. People right now, home equity loans have gone up in the last month or last quarter of last year by $12 billion. More people borrowed against their house than they have in the last 10 years during the last quarter of 2025. What are you buying? Oh, Dan, well, we got behind on some stuff and we just thought we'd consolidate our bills. Oh, okay. Borrowing yourself out of debt doesn't work. Credit card balances rose $44 billion. Now, I've never, ever had a problem with the December credit card bill thing going up because people put a ton of their stuff on their credit cards for Christmas. It's not the way to do it. Nobody cares about this. You ever bought anybody, any gifts that you bought anybody that they're like, oh my God, my life was changed by Dan's Christmas gift? Nobody says that. Nobody says that. Student loan balances increased by $11 billion and now stand at $1.66 trillion. You're going to make 300 grand a year doing your new job with your new degree? No, you're not. My son, I just talked about this in the last video. My son and his college, his university, had such a low percentage of people that can find jobs for the degree that they got. And they're, most of them are in debt. Not everybody's got rich parents. Auto loan balances edged up by $12 billion to $1.66 trillion. $1.66 trillion. Oh, by the way, the student loan balance is $1.6 trillion. I think I said billion. Other balances, which include retail cards. Think about this. Macy's, Nordstrom's, J.C. Penney's, all that stuff that you borrow to go out Target, your Target card. That went up $14 billion also to $564 billion last quarter. Come on, man. Come on. You guys get it? There's a problem right now. It's funny. You sit there and you see people that really turn their life around. You ever ran into anybody that was a major booze hound, and then you run into him a few years later and the guy's cleaned himself up, he's fit, you may be running and wow, what happened to that guy? Well, he got fed up with living a disastrous lifestyle. You financially, you might as well be that booze hound alcoholic that's running yourself upside down because you're not living a quality life, not living a healthy life. God, not at all. It's a disaster. A few more things. Bank of America is sending us a message that there's a quiet warning on the stock market and how they think it's overvalued and that they think we're going to have nothing but problems in the bond market in short order. What's that? What's that? Consumer debt delinquencies. Here's the other thing is you may be in debt, all that money, but the problem is people, you have delinquencies on everything. Auto loans, student loans, your credit cards, every type of personal loans, your house payments. It's the worst that it's been since 2017. But again, it's not just you. You're not the problem. Understand this. Accept that there's a problem. Accept that you've got to fix this. When you have millionaires that I know that are like, oh, damn, how do I cut back? Just sitting there and I'm changing everything I do right now to cut back. I'm right there with you. And I'm like, wow, this is fabulous because it's not a Dan problem. Well, I preach, fiscal responsibility. I preach cutting back. And you know what I like? I like to go out to dinner. I like to go travel. I like to do things that are fun. But now, man, every single thing is going to be worked over. I want you to think about this. You will never do things the same again. There is a great story that I have, and I want to, all these people that are in debt, it's awful, and the numbers are just scary, and I'm so bummed out about this, but I want you to think about this. You go out and you buy a car, and you buy the extended warranty from the dealership, not from, Joe Shenanigans auto, but there's a family that bought a Kia. Think about this, okay? And I want to get their names because Michael Brooks, okay? So, I'm sorry, the Ricassis, Gene and Debbie Ricassi, they went out and bought a Kia, and they were talking about how they went to go have warranty work done, and the Kia dealership says, you know what, we're not going to honor this, we're not going to pay for it because you didn't maintain the car properly. And I'm like, wow, this is something I predicted that would happen, is happening. And Jerry B writes me every now and then and says, oh, what you predicted came true. I don't want this to come true, guys. I don't want it to be that people are so broke right now. Okay, do we go out and put oil in the car? Do we do that? Do we maintain the car, or do we pay the electric bill? Let's pay the electric bill right now. The problem with this is that more and more people right now are suffering and they can't maintain their vehicles. Then they go to Kia. Read the story below because it'll be right in the middle of the video description. And these people got denied. So what do? You got to fight this stuff. Every single person, everybody that has had to deal with an insurance company in the last year, every single one of them has been totally messed with. And you want to insert a swear word there. They've been completely messed with. And including my attorney friend that I said, listen, you're going to get an experience because they're going to totally play with you. And she's like, I'm a litigator. They're not going to do that. And they did. And she was appalled. She was like, you are so right. And it took only, one more phone call for her to get the real amount that they should have gotten and that she should have gotten. But again, how many times does that happen? That they just tell people this is what we're going to pay and that's it. There's nothing you can do about it. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. But you buy a warranty for your Kia and you're out of luck. There was a Social Security data breach that is such a disaster. And what it says, it's a national security disaster because it's going to make people lose things financially. People are going to start seeing something that I predicted again from 4 years ago where your credit lines are getting cut. And I'm starting to get people that are starting to have that. Okay? So you're starting to see that more and more and more right now. So it's happening, guys. It's happening. But this data breach, make sure that you check your credit. Make sure that you know where your credit cards are at. Check things. One thing that happened in 2026 that people are blown away with, hey, listen, for you to maintain this bank card, you have to start paying $12 a month for us to report it to the credit card agency. Well, if I don't want to pay that, then we cancel the card. So you have to pay a $12 monthly fee. It's $150 a year, guys, basically. Another Six Flags place went down. Okay? Another amusement park went down. My great nephews, my nieces brought, my great nephews to Disneyland the other day. How much is it to walk in the door of Disneyland? $165. That is criminal. That is absolutely unbelievable. That somebody, you want to, what's the park hopper, which is the two parks. I think it's $225 to do that, but it's $165 to go to one park. And again, they're little kids. Another data breach was a Conduit. Now, here's the thing that bothered me. This started in 2024. Conduit is a company. They think that half of the people in Texas, they think were covered by this data breach. They do healthcare processing for power companies, all these different payment programs. And you know what they did? Got data breach. Oh yeah, it's a year and a half ago. Yeah, we just started notifying people about it today. Gosh, no wonder why those people are trying to open up fake credit cards in my name. That stuff is happening. Not terrible. There's a California first-time homebuyers program. You want to go out and buy a home and get an asset that's going to depreciate, you get $150,000 that you don't have to pay back on a first-time buyers program. That is crazy, guys. It's so much money to give to somebody right now. But again, rents are so high. Then I'm getting stories from around the country that rents are starting to go down, and we're going to see this. But more and more people are living together. More and more people, you're having more and more families live together right now, which is something we haven't had in a long time. Please do not forget that we have the private channel, and it's iallegedly live. You sign up at iallegedly.tv, and I love doing that. But use the link below or check it out. But it's all the uncensored stuff. Let's play Jeopardy between us. How about this one? Hey, Alex, I'll take something Dan has never said for 500. What is an Eddie Bauer store? I have never been in an Eddie Bauer store. The Ford Expedition used to have the Eddie Bauer line, and it was like upgraded seats, all these dark brown interiors, and it's the Eddie Bauer package. And anybody that ever bought it, I'm like, really like that? God, that car looks like Grandpa's car, and you're like in your 20s. Anyways, Eddie Bauer stores went bankrupt. Final thing for those of you that suffered through the Super Bowl. The best part about the Super Bowl is that baseball's right around the corner, guys. And I got my tickets. On my app already, so I know when I'm going. One thing I like to tell my audience. Okay. So, there is something called a jock tax here in California, which is terrible. The Super Bowl winners get $177,000. Just nice, a nice little bonus. The only problem with it is that the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, and that guy doesn't live here, played here only a few days, and for the Super Bowl, for the jock tax, it's going to cost him $71,000 more than he made. Isn't that criminal? Isn't that absolutely criminal? LA County, I'm going to end it with this one, just raised their sales tax, and it's at 9.75%. 9.75%. You know what they want to do right now, because they're incompetent and they don't know how to run a state, city, or municipality? They want to raise the tax in LA County another 0.5%. Now remember, they just did it for the homeless, and they did it for this, and they did it for all these programs. They raised billions of dollars and millions of dollars from the millionaire tax for houses above $5 million. But guess what? There's still all these people sleeping in the streets in LA. So they want to raise another 0.5% and make it 10.25%. Why you would live in LA, why you would shop in LA would be insane. So let me know what you think about all this stuff. Hello, but again, question everything, have a plan, understand that you're not alone in this right now, and don't kid yourself right now. This is not, economy is very difficult right now. You're no different than everybody. There's millionaires that are changing their game plan. You have to do the same thing. Reach out anytime. I'll see you very soon.